I'm really proud of the group and where they've come from over 2 years. Is my immediate piece. It was tough test match today. The occasion, you think a year ago, that group might have felt the occasion more, but could see it in the eyes of the players when they stepped off the bus. The Irish support, which has been fantastic all the way through the competition, and it was a crowd that was singing Fields of Athenry, and our group don't get daunted by that anymore. They get excited by it. It was a tough test match in terms of conditions. Thought we tried to play the conditions really, really well. There were some bits that worked, and there were some bits that put us under pressure. And with a young group that we've always perhaps been talking about for the next 4-year cycle as well, we know that a lot of this group is going to stick together, and this group's going to get better and better.
Sam, does it help the manner of performance? Will it help? I know it's probably quite hard now, but the fact that you kind of left everything out there in the field, you probably won't leave with many regrets.
Yeah, look, that's what I asked from the girls at the start of the game, is don't let a moment get by you. Leave everything you can out there, and I truly believe we did. You can see it in the players' faces. They are heartbroken, but it's such a proud... I couldn't ask for more from them. We gave it our all. We brought them to 90 minutes, probably, in the end, with the 5 minutes in the first half. But yeah, I'm extremely proud of this group. It is a young group, as Scott said, only 31, one player out of the 32 has experienced a World Cup before. So, if you do look back, 2 years ago we were competing in WX3 and, we were very, very close to winning a World Cup quarter-final there. So, yes, we're gutted, we're heartbroken. We know we could have had that game, but we'll hold our heads high and rebuild and grow together.
Any other questions? Dan?
Scott, can I just ask you about how well the scrum and the maul went today, and how impressed you were against a very big French pack?
Incredibly impressed. There's been a lot of work, as sort of well documented, that's gone into the scrum, the line out. So with Dennis Fogarty and Alex Codlin, they've done a great job in terms of the set piece. And look, the weather conditions that were out there today, it was probably a set piece game, wasn't it? And to see the scrum be so dominant early doors gives you enormous amounts of opportunity, because it gives you confidence to play, and if there's a turnover, you can keep putting pressure on. So second half was a bit harder. We couldn't get on the back of the penalties that we were winning, because in the middle of the pitch it's windy, and you can't sort of make that material gain in terms of position on the pitch. So look, I think where the girls were to where they are, we know the levels that we need to be at to be competing for World Cup semi-finals, and we've taken a big step forward today.
And just lastly from me, for both of you, there seems to have been a little bit of an accusation on social media, a clip going around about a bite from one of the French players at a ruck. Were you aware of this incident? Was it raised to the referee at all? I think it was on Aoife Wafer, who she seems to be sort of holding her arm as if she'd been bitten, basically. And I just wondered if you were aware of it, or if it had been discussed internally.
We literally just stepped off the pitch and seeing families and come in here. If there's any bits to pick up, we'll pick up on the next hour.
Sam, did that go through you at all? Because Aoife went to their TMO and it seemed to come up on the big screen. I've just watched a replay of it there. It's quite clear what happened out there.
Yeah, I spoke to the referee. Aoife told, I didn't see it myself, but I spoke to the referee and asked them could they have a look at it. But
did you follow up at all afterwards, or?
It was through TMO.
Scott, how much do you think, whenever you do review this game, I know it might not be today or tomorrow, do you think that those phases before half time will be front and centre?
Yeah, look, we actually at that point felt that could be fairly pivotal. We thought it was a three score win, and we thought we needed to take advantage of that. Now, it's a significant moment, but we've created moments in the second half, so it isn't based on that in isolation. But when you start to build pressure, you need to be able to take your scores. Early in the competition, Japan, Spain, when we had quite quite a good record of getting into their 22s or opposition 22s and coming up with points. And last week we found that a little bit harder against New Zealand. So we put some practice, some time into that this week. But France are a good team. They're full of big athletes. They're strong, and in the conditions today, they managed to get a little bit of pressure on our first pass. So look, we'll go back and review it. Of course we will, and we'll take the learnings of how we get on top of teams and close out for points when we're getting into their 22.
Any further questions? Oh, no.
Sam, you've spoken really well about that relationship with the supporters, but can you try and sum that up now, what it has meant to you, even again today, to connect with fans that way?
Yeah, it's meant the world, like in a defeat like that, when you come off the pitch and you can see how proud Irish fans are, family, friends, and everyone there, it means so much. And we speak about like what our common purpose was, and it's inspiring the next generation. And I've had so many messages, and even off the side of the pitch there, of how we're doing that and through our performance, and that's what we strive to do. So look, there's no taking how heartbroken we are from that loss. We are devastated, but we're proud because of what we've inspired hopefully the next generation to come through, and we've definitely put the jersey in a better place this tournament. Again, as I said, you look back to where we are now, but there's so much in this group yet still to come. We'll keep driving, we'll keep getting better, along with the support from the IRFU. You can see the investment that's gone in over the last couple of years, and where this team can grow with that backing. We've huge moments still coming up. An amazing opportunity at the Aviva next year at Six Nations, which is something great to look forward to. But we're going to be hurting for the next while, so it's how we grow from this and bring them experiences on to the next ones.
Yeah, Scott, that was actually kind of going to be my question to you. Just I know it's hard to look forward though after this defeat, but what do you kind of need in the next couple of years to kind of bridge that gap and start challenging for titles and making that next step?
Okay, yeah, good question. I think there's areas of expertise in their own pitch that you need. You'll always look for greater depth. Greater depth gives you more challenge, more competition within training, which pushes levels higher. And so there's a bit that wasn't that long ago when we're looking for names, and our player depth in some position was fairly skinny. We're being able to grow our depth in some significant positions. There's still a few more to go. And we'll go after that. And there's a plan in place over in Ireland. There's something called the WNTS, which is provides additional support for players with potential coming through to go on and represent the Green Wave. So there's plans in place. There's girls pushing through. We've already had some of those in with us over the summer, and we know that they're going to go on to become big pieces over the next 4-year cycle.
Scott, you were very adamant all week, and every player we spoke to about the New Zealand game, that it wasn't going to knock confidence or damage morale. How proud of the performance today are you, in the sense that you come out and back that up?
Yeah, do you know, I didn't see any signs of it damaging morale. And we do dissect the games fairly hard. At 26-0 down last week, there's clusters where New Zealand have got on top and we're pushing, and they go the length and end up with a score, and it becomes 2 scores quite quickly. Unfortunately, by that point, that last week the game had gone, but the players circled round. They understood the task. They'd had confidence in coming through tough games and then going straight into the next game. If you look at 2 years ago, we played England, and then the week after went on and beat Scotland to qualify for the World Cup. So we're able to draw on experiences where we've been able to back weeks up. Look, this group's just going to keep getting better. They're adding layers to their own, both on pitch and off pitch, abilities all the time, and it's exciting to see what this group can do over the next 4 years.
And Sam, just as captain, are you proud that the team had the focus and clarity to take what you needed from that very painful scoreline last week and take it into today and produce a performance like that in the biggest game of your career so far?
Yeah, I'm extremely proud of everyone, not just the players that took the pitch today, but the whole group, and everyone, all the players at home as well, that's been a part of this journey over the last couple of years. Every single one of their efforts has brought us to this point, and the focus we had this week and the drive and the determination and the belief we had is really what brought this group forward. And as Scott said earlier, I think sky's the limit with this group, along with the support we have, where we can grow this game and hopefully the game in Ireland.
Scott, you talked about the potential over the next 4 years. Can I just gauge your keenness and openness to beat the one leading him into the next World Cup cycle? Am I right in saying you've got 1 year left on your 3-year deal? So can I just ask about your openness to see through that process for another 4 years?
Yeah, you got me for another year, and it works quite well. I believe they do something similar over here in England, where you get to transition the next piece. Obviously, all conversations need to be had. Nothing's been had to this point, but when you look at opportunities and you look at ambition, you can see that the IRFU are ambitious with where they can take the women's programme here. You can see that it's not based on nothing. You can see there's girls coming through that are only going to add. So as an opportunity, this would be a very, very good opportunity to be part of. In terms of what we're doing, it doesn't feel like we're anywhere near the end point. The story is still being written, and I would, if it's me to go forward, if I'm the right fit, if that works for myself and the players, then brilliant. Say we keep talking about taking this next step and cracking into the World Cup contenders. It's gutting to not do it today, is the reality of things, especially when we look back on it and we go, well, there was opportunities to take today. I believed we were going to score at the end of that game today, because I've seen the girls practice it, I've seen what they've been doing in training, the amount of pressure that we've been able to deal with in training. So it's going to happen at some point, and if it's me, that'd be brilliant.
Scott, I appreciate you didn't want to get into it earlier, but if one of your players did allege that she was bitten during a World Cup quarter-final, and there's pretty clear evidence of it, is it disappointing that it wasn't dealt with, or you didn't get clarity within the game? Because if she's banned, it's not going to help you. And is there avenues for you to pursue it if IFA is still making the allegation after the game?
I think in terms of process, what you would do, your on-pitch leadership would mention it to the referee. Then it's up to the team officials to deal with it should they see fit at that point. So I'm not gonna get drawn into anything at this point. I haven't seen anything. Like I say, I've literally stepped in here. So if there's bits to pursue, well, you potentially could be disappointed, but we've followed the process as best we can from our perspective in terms of the on-pitch leadership conversations.